I'm Johnny Buck, and this is my podcast. Hey, everybody listening. So a little different podcast today. I'm talking with a buddy of mine. It's our first online over the thing, multi-person interview. It's a good friend of mine, Jeff Lee, strength and conditioning coach, and I'll let him tell you a little more about him. He was my strength and conditioning coach in college. He's probably the strongest I've ever been. He wrote my program for Gracie Worlds, and we're starting my next program for the new year, new me. Actually, it's just a bigger, stronger, faster me. So, all right, this is Jeff Lee.
Hi, everybody. Like Johnny said, my name is Jeff Lee. I was a college strength and conditioning coach for 8 years. I started off as an intern, like every strength coach does, but then moved. My first real job was the head strength coach for boxing at one of the Olympic training centers. Kind of fell into it. It was a great opportunity, but stayed there for about 6 months, and then went on down to the Citadel, where obviously that's where I met JB. I was there with him for a year. Was a strength coach at Yale for 2. Then the head strength coach at Canisius College for a year, and then moved down to Southeast Missouri State for 3 years. Never been, blessed with overwhelming talent, but hard work is really what the trump card is, and then smart programming on top of that. But I'm just happy to be able to help JB out and talk to you guys today about whatever it is that he would like to speak about.
So and I don't know if some of you guys have probably seen it. We did like a Black Friday thing where we gave away like a 4 or 6 week intro program for especially
Yep.
it's combat sport related for the most part. It's pretty general, so we did that, and so Jeff and I have started a Misfit Health and Performance. We have not really putting too much into it right now. We just added another guy to help us get the ball moving a little more. But since I met Jeff, when we were in college, that was the strongest I ever was. I squatted over 600 pounds. Deadlift, bench, power clean. We didn't do a lot of that stuff. Power clean was higher than my bench, which is pretty absurd. But we were just strong in general, and it wasn't a powerlifting type thing. We were college athletes. We were wrestlers. That's the hardest conditioned sport in the world. So we did a lot of conditioning based stuff, which is what we do now, and it's really transferred over to the BJJ and catch wrestling world. So today we're going to talk about some supplements. There's certain supplements that everybody should take. I'm a big fan, just like a multivitamin, creatine, stuff like that. That's pretty much good for pretty much all athletes. And then we're going to go a little more specific. So I'm going to let Jeff kind of talk about what his favorite supplements are for your everyday athlete, and then we'll jump into some more specific stuff for combat sports, power, weight management athletes, stuff like that. So Jeff, what
My
is
supplement recommendations are really pretty simple. I think a good fish oil supplement is probably pretty key. Not really any more than 3 to 5 grams a day. Just in terms of it helps out blood lipid profiles, and also just joint integrity as well. It's been shown to do that, as well as cognitive ability. So I think that's just a good all around health supplement that you really can't go wrong with. In addition to that, I'm a big proponent of L-tyrosine. Again, it helps out with neurotransmitter activity in the brain, and also just in terms of thyroid health, can be very, very key getting that back into balance as well. And with that, whenever I take L-tyrosine, I never get in the caplet form. It's always I get it in bulk from, I think it's True Nutrition was where I get mine from, but it's always in bulk and it's in powder. So and most of the recommendations are you're going to take a teaspoon or two, with it. I usually grab a tablespoon. It's about as much as your bowels can handle.
yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it, because I don't see it as something where it could go incredibly bad for you in terms of overloading it. Again, it's an amino acid. It's not going to hurt you in the long run. When you couple that with a cup of coffee, if you're a little bit overweight, it's definitely a good fat burning combination as well. Probably in addition to that would be turmeric. I think it's just good in terms of inflammation, just like your fish oils are. But inflammation, if you can cut down on that and the times that you don't need it, a little bit of inflammation after your training, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But the areas around that, outside that perimeter, I think it's key just to cut down inflammation in the body. And turmeric's been shown to have, again, all kinds of benefits high enough dosing. There's even like anti-cancer type of benefits with it, so that's never a bad thing as well. So probably the top three things on my mind, just in terms of health, because I think health comes before performance. If you're in great health, no reason why you can't perform.
Yeah, very solid. Yeah, those are all the fitness fish. And this is general. This is everybody. This is soccer moms, soccer athletes, and everything in between. Uh, you know, those are all just baseline things that I think everybody should have on a regular basis. The fish oil, especially. You know, the when fat got basically ostracized for making you fat. Fish oil kind of took, they put salmon and tuna in the back burner because it was high in fat, and it led to a lot of other shitty side effects, health wise. So far, obviously food first. If you can eat a good wild sourced tuna or salmon, obviously that's a good option. What brands do you like far as the fish oil goes, Jeff?
I'm just a big True Nutrition person. I think they make probably the best stuff out there in terms of bulk. When you can buy from bulk, they do a great job with it. There's also Life Extension. They do a great job with it as well. So either one of those, you can't go wrong. In terms of turmeric, even True Nutrition adds it as a bonus to like your proteins now. We can get that as a component that they'll put in it. Doesn't make it taste nearly as good, but that doesn't really matter. But again, Life Extension probably has the best supplement line in terms of health supplements. Again, kind of to add one more to it, if somebody's got major cholesterol issues, K2 is another one that's good. It's been shown to clear out like artery blockages. And when I'm not saying you're not going to get a quadruple bypass because you take a couple of K2 supplements a day, what I am saying is it can be beneficial. So
that's
something to look at.
That's going to be a lifestyle adjustment on that side.
Yep.
But so, me personally, there's a lot of official. I like the Nordic Naturals. I forget the one is that they have at the gym that I used to go to. Super high quality, and you said between 3 and 5 grams a day.
Yep.
That's obviously way more than recommended dose for what's on the back of the bottle. But that you have to take into account, like you're a bigger guy. I'm a bigger guy. It's going to be different, in your activity levels.
Yep.
If you're not a desk jockey, would you recommend going straight just to 5, taking 5 grams a day, or how?
Yeah, I'll say this: there's the strength coach Charles Poliquin, who's one of the smartest guys in the world in terms of training and nutrition. Specifically says you should take the amount of grams that you are percent body fat, and that will help out your overall look and your performance.
There'd be some.
If someone is 87% body fat, I don't think you should take 87 fish oil caplets and expect a miracle to happen.
But it helped.
I've done it before where I've replaced my entire fat content for a certain meal just with fish oil. So I was popping 15 at a time. It was no problem. But again, you come down to gastric upset, and then you might end up going and crapping yourself when you're in the middle of something you don't want to have happen. So it's a lot of it's trial and error. But it's not something I see as it's not going to hurt you. I'll say that. 3 grams of fish oil a day, not going to hurt you. 5 grams, not going to hurt you. 180. Yeah, maybe. I just don't know. I don't have the answer on that.
Yeah,
but there are some people out there that are a lot smarter than me and says, higher dosing, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever.
Yeah, and as long as it's a good source, then you're going to have a lot
That's
less.
the big thing. Don't get it from Walmart and expect a miracle, too.
Yeah, the lady at the gym I talk with, my body work, she goes, try this. And I was listening to, I think it was Rhonda Patrick, talk about cut open your capsule and see what it smells like. And I cut mine open. It didn't smell bad, but I just threw them out anyways because it probably wasn't really fish oil at that point. But I switched to a liquid on occasion, like an omega-3. That lemon tasted.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's a good it's one of the better options. I just don't remember the name right now. It's in the fridge right now. I like it. It's
a lot better option than burping up fish all day.
Dude, I used to like it, but the problem was when I would burp up with fish oil, it made me want sushi. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go spend a bunch of money on sushi now. So yeah, I live with that one. Yeah, I like True Nutrition as well. I use Bulk Nutrition for a lot of stuff. Same thing, different product. and they were independently tested as super pure. Like,
Yep.
if it says it is what it is. So yeah, that's definitely a must. So, yeah, and tyrosine, that's just something. You're right. If you notice, everything suggested has been beneficial cognitively as well. Um, which day to day life, you have to be able to fucking think, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Another one that I like, far as performance, I said earlier, was creatine. Like, everybody should take fucking creatine. And it's another one of those gastric issues. I take like 20 grams a day when I'm taking it. And from what I've looked at in research, is it take as much as you can. That it doesn't make you shit your brains out. And that kind of comes to the bottom line. The research on the loading phase is phenomenal. People got this much muscle, this much that, blah, blah, blah. And but there's not a lot of study on the taking 5 grams for the maintenance phase. So just hammer it out. It's so cheap, you can get it anywhere. And that's one of the ones you can buy that at Walmart, because monohydrate is so fucking cheap. Everybody makes a good product.
Yep.
But the other thing, back to that cognitive, if you're not a big red meat eater, or especially vegans and vegetarians, creatine's a must-have. It shows crazy benefits on the cognitive side, improved performance, memory, stuff like that, and which was surprising. I wrote one of the articles for that a while back, and that's a must-have. Again, it's super cheap, it's super easy to get, and maybe 100 grams a day may cause a problem. It's we have the most expensive piss in the world in America, because we're pissing out most of the stuff.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
So if you're gonna piss out, creatine, it's not a big deal. Our body processes everything for the most part. So
yeah, I was reading an article the other day about a guy that was taking it was veterinary grade vitamin D and vitamin A injections.
Jesus Christ!
And it almost killed him, because he was taking it was something in the thousands of milligrams at one shot, and it calcifies kidneys and whatnot. So there are other ends to this, but for the most part, a lot of things aren't going to hurt you. When you get into fat soluble vitamins, that's when you start to have a little bit more issues, because we all have body fat on us. So that stuff bioaccumulates over, and that can give you big problems. Most of us aren't going to go to that extreme.
Yeah.
So,
I've got a hard enough time. Yeah, I've got a hard enough time taking the supplements I'm supposed to take, let alone an ignorant fucking amount. But yeah, so those are basic everyday, and a multivitamin. I'm a fan of that, just because our diets suck in general. I like Animal Pack. They've got a powder now, and they've got the pill form. The pill form is a little better. It's got some liver stuff in there, but the little powder one is a lot easier to stomach for most people. So now performance. Let's talk about we're more towards the jiu-jitsu side, wrestling side, MMA side. What are some supplements you like to help support that side? Glucosamine supplement, because we're getting murdered every day. What else do you look at?
The same basics I just gave you. Because again, I think if you're doing that, if we can start getting into gray area stuff, and then I've got some different ideas. But,
yeah, we'll step on that. We'll step on that podcast next. That'll be a good whole separate one.
I don't think that there's anything more beneficial than having a great diet. Not even great. It's just got to be good enough. And you can fill in the gaps with stuff that's not that expensive, like your multivitamin. Again, not that expensive to get a good one. Tyrosine, again, if you find yourself lethargic going in there, drink a cup of coffee with it. I guarantee you will find some energy that you didn't find before.
Now, would you would like that especially since you talked about the cognitive side of it? That'd be something you could do before you hit the mats if you're training or competing.
Absolutely, it's not going to hurt you a single bit, and it's only going to be a benefit.
That's something I used to take a bunch of tyrosine. Like, I'd take the pills just because that's what I needed for cramps, but back cramps, calf cramps, stuff like that. And we'll talk about that on the gray list supplements, because there's some stuff there that help. But I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so the benefits. So you would take something like that pre-workout because it would help the